Okay, good. Looks like we're back. It was not playing well with having the stream on the same computer that is struggling desperately to run this game. So I had to switch it over to my secondary PC. Should all be good and working now. Oh, very good slow moments. If you missed that,
The money talks. And next time, I mix and match.
there was no other further context given in that. If you missed part of that and weren't here last time when we tried to play this.
Hit me. Hasn't there been enough of that?
Have a heart.
Out of sync.
Want to dead his kid?
Anyone else throwing me out of windows?
Come clean with the debt, Sly. Dead is no slouch, and he's got muscle. He'll collect one way or the other.
Hey, money's
That
tight.
should be-
As soon as it rains, I'll pour some.
I'd suggest
It
a
was still
job
picking
if
up
I
my
thought you'd take
my
it.
mic on the streaming
Try
PC.
me.
The key to my cellar's missing.
Oh, yeah? Where's the job part come in?
When you find it, and I pay you.
Man, I need a real case. I need a challenge worthy of my deductive and pugilistic skills.
But I've got a bouncer.
Cute.
You want some real advice? Find a job. It's amazing how many of your problems it'll solve.
You think?
It's upsetting to me that I don't think you
Fatima!
can go find the key to his cellar. I would absolutely do that shitty little side quest. Boots might be better than that, but I sure as hell am not. And let's face it, Boots is not better than that.
What?
Anything on SenderNet?
Nothing you're sober enough for.
I'm just waiting for business to pick up. What's with the attitude?
For one, I'm sick of being dead.
And second, I'm tired of watching you drink your life away. When did you become such a bum?
I'm not a bum.
Prove it.
Bums don't have offices.
An office isn't a storage room in a cheap bar, Boots.
Hey.
It's time
It's
for
a
a new
nice
line of
bar.
work.
Forget it, sweetheart. I'm a detective. It's what I do.
I
Then
like
go
it at
out
least.
and do it. I'm always here if you ever get off your butt and make useful.
It's got an industrial vibe to it. I dig that. Look at this place. It's fucking dope. It's got a crazy ass disco floor. Last time I saw something like that was in a Lego game. You know that's cool. Alright, so most of these people don't have anything to say. I don't think I can take anything of these characters. She's got a job for me. Hey Booter, caught your swan dive earlier. Pretty sweet dude. Like that, I've been practicing all week. He's still looking for work. My friend Dynamo has been exploring tunnels for some guy that's Grumpos. We will meet shortly. They need an extra hand, so this is kind of starting part of the main quest, which will lead us to him. She's slumming at Frank's Flophouse if you're interested. Thanks, babe, you're peach. All for you, Booter. Okay, this guy's fun. This is Mystek. It's basically shiny rare rocks right now, but if we continue the plot, we turn them into magic shiny rocks. And so this guy's dilemma is that he has this rare rock. Gambled away all my money. All I got left is this slag of Mystek. Should I sell this junk or what? It is currently a glorified paperweight. Hold on to it, man. It could be worth something one day. We know for a fact it will. I have no idea if this changes anything in the game. Like, I don't know if you tell him one, if you won't have it later, or if, like, you tell him the other, than, like, when you come back he's rich or something. I have no idea if any effect is had. So, I'm gonna be honest with the guy, keep the thing. I don't know if there's an answer that lets you get it from him. These guys will take a minute to explain because they're a lot more important than they should be this early on. Let's see. Here's our big segment. Real quick, I'm gonna fix the other screen and then I'm gonna go on a quick, like, 2-minute break. And then we'll be back at it and I'll walk us through the crazy ass side quest with these two that we're about to start. So many devices and I still can't get this shit right. There we go. Come on. Okay. So, these two are members of Cyber Antifa, and basically they have a really long-running quest line where you do stuff for them across the entire planet system, or different members of their organization. I have no idea what's at the end of this side quest. I've never gotten to the end of it. Because if you fuck up any step in this side quest, the rest of the side quest is completely unavailable. Because basically they're like, oh, you're not a reliable enough agent, so you're gone. It's a very long, step-by-step quest helping these guys out, so we gotta learn stuff. Boots, glass in your hair, all the rage cord guy. So this is another thing the game uses to signal you. For instance, if I talk to this guy a couple times, this nobody, when the camera stays on him and doesn't go back like this, it means he has something different to say. But when he runs out of stuff to say, the camera snaps back to behind you. So it's a really good way to like know when dialogue is over or when there's more dialogue to be had. So when the camera stayed on her, you know to click on her again. All the ones falling into place in a few weeks will hit Deada's Fortress. That's the guy who we owe money to, and his thug just tossed us out a window in the opening scene. I'd ask you to join us if I thought you'd say yes. I absolutely would, but Boots probably wouldn't. Yarkon's disappeared. He's got the blueprints. Where's that boy? Yarkon is part of... He's like the first or second quest, because he thinks he's being tailed, and we need to get a picture of all the of the person who's tailing him so that we can get him taken care of. Nox guards raided the compounds of the top 3 crime lords in the bricks last night. Guess Deada's got the house to himself now. 3 crime lords are in detention awaiting trial. They'll all be dead within the week. It's just a matter of time before we topple Deada. We're just weeks away from something big. Resistance could you do? Too bad you're you. Yeah, that's fair. So this is the problem with the brightness. There's a lot of, like, this one, it's clear enough if you approach it and, like, look up and stuff, you can tell what the structure is. But once you get back here, there's no seeing where you are or where you're going. It's so dark. Let's see, what was it? Oh, I wanted to point out, this is... The reason this is cyberpunk and RPG and good and PC and old is because this was released by the same corporation that did Deus Ex. And also, I think, Daikatana? So, it's got a lot of Deus Ex to it, and I personally like this game, but I do think Deus Ex deserves the hype it gets. I keep replaying the first level and not feeling like continuing. Here's the useless camera. Sure is useless. Oh no, it's not. Something you have to take pictures of. Red Bipedry. Bipedry, I don't know what. They're little tiny people. They look like the Doozers from Fraggle Rock. But they're red, and most of them are orange, but there's like 8 red ones throughout the galaxy. So yeah, the camera's used for a couple things. I kind of wish they'd made more use of it. Don't need it now that you're my life cursor for time. Clean up some time. Yeah, you fucking do. PAL 18 has been out of commission all year. Size B batteries are scarce around the bricks, otherwise I would have juiced them up as soon as I could. Poor little guy. We had some good times. I like PAL. Man, I've modified the hell out of PAL over the years, but Corticom never thought someone could trick out their toys with data port accessories and battle claws. Miss you, little hot rod. Sniff. Alright, moving on. Okay, so this is a big issue for me. And one of the reasons that I feel the need to play this game and why I'm so fucking excited to, and one of the reasons I've played this game as much as I have. So, there are no sufficient guides for this game. There's like, I've never found a like thorough guide anywhere online that actually walks you, that can like no some sites have some info on like some basic walkthroughs, or like we're about to see, very basic descriptions of world skills, which I'm gonna go into. But like, there's nowhere that has like a walkthrough of the whole plot, a collection of like what the side quests are, where the collectibles are, like standard stuff that you can find for almost any game. Doesn't exist for this game, like anywhere. This game is just that not played. And I love this game. So I actually spent a couple months trying to compile all of this information. I've still never been to the end of this game because I always get so caught up in doing everything and I have to find it all myself, so it's just a really long process. And I've never made it all the way to the end, so I'm really excited to. But world skills, there's not a single website online that actually lists all the world skill uses, and there's not that many. There's like, I mean, I've played through the most of the game. I've gotten very far. I got all the party members, and I was making my way towards the end. But there's like probably a max of like 8 places where you'll use any given world skill. It's somewhere around there. It's not a high number, so it wouldn't be difficult, and it would be helpful to have that information listed. And nobody's thought to do that because this game is just that unplayed. So I have somewhere all of this information. I will probably eventually pull some of it up just so that I know where missable stuff is. But it's been like a year and a half since I've touched this game. So the first world skill is Boots' picklock. This explains it pretty well. You guess the code on each tumbler by clicking the up and down arrows. You can go up to 8, or up to 9, down to 0. Above each digit, down, yeah. You click up and down. You click on the tumbler. I just always hit space. I don't know. I guess you can click up here. Basically, the whole thing is you place a guess, and you learn from experience what number is associated with how full the bar is. So basically, the bar is never completely full because that means you got past the tumbler. So if the bar is like 2 ticks down from the edge, then you're off. So like if I guess 7, then I know that the answer is either 8 or 6. So I would guess one of those, and then if the bar looks like it's off, it's about a 2, then I know that it was actually the other one. Otherwise, I know I just fucking misread it. So it's a nice mini game because it's simple enough, and you get improvements for it. The master lockpick eventually, like, to keep track of the timer and just reset it. But it's just a multitasking challenge. But it's nice because it's not too skill-based, but it is something you actively have to practice to get better at, and you will get better at it because it's just kind of learning what the numbers are associated with. So I really like this. I think it was well played out. You know, and I'll show you how close you are. So, for instance, 7. That's only off by 1, so we'll try 8. That's off by 2, so it was actually 6. Guess 9. There's no reason to ever change it from what it is. That's off by 3. And that's off by 4, so I was right about it being 3, but I just went the wrong direction. 2. That's off by 3. There you go. It's a fun little minigame. Grab some Kiznash. All that money that fell out of my pockets when, yeah. Found some dough. Ooh. When I eventually get, like, affiliate or whatever, and that's gonna be the donation thing, is just gonna be that pop-up, found some dough. The GIF that is always associated. We already talked with you, we already talked with you, we already talked with them. We need to do save minder, or the time minder. It's your save. It's just a fun little cute thing that when you pet it, I think canonically the thing is that when you pet one of these, it like absorbs all your memories. But it's fun that since the save point is a being, they get really creative with their save points. Like sometimes there's like a really tiny one way over here, or sometimes like it's like in the middle of conversation with something, but it's still a time minder, so you can just pet it. it's real creative. Let me check. Kima, Dynamo and Frank's Flophouse, and there's nothing else there, so I guess we've checked off all the things that Fatima wanted us to do. But we remember to talk to Travis, because he's one of my favorite NPCs in the game. Came in, I didn't see what happened, but I heard the crash. You're resilient, man. This job's boring, so I've been taking up drawing, you know? Mostly just doodles on the backs of these concert flyers. Want to see a little picture I drew? I love this picture. This is the whole reason that I talk to Travis every single time I play this game, because I like to see whatever the fuck this is. I love it. I would hang that on my wall. You're the best, Travis. You there. You're friends with Rowdy. Why does he discriminate against floaters? I only want something to drink and an interesting conversation. We Iowa are an intelligent, well-spoken race. My cousin Conrad is a master informant of the bricks. You should look him up. He likes to hang out in the fountain overlook. We will see him later. In exchange, maybe you can talk to Rowdy about letting me drink in the bar. People look surprised when they hear an Iowa talk so eloquently, but our vocal cords are the most versatile in the galaxy. An Iowa can perfectly mimic the voice articulation of any species, well, except the Fluvini oysterfish of Tentax X. Of course not. If you heard our native language, it would burst your eardrums. I'll politely refrain from demonstrating. Thanks, bruh.
You're gonna hit me, aren't you?
Yeah. We now obtain getting punched in the face is what really happens. That's the fact of the matter. You can never get a turn in that, so I didn't bother trying with my mouse there. He'll always attack you before it's your turn.
Was it something I said?
Yeah, to my sister.
Broken fist and pistol. The first weapon you have in the game. It doesn't work.
You know, there's a special introductory offer at the Temple of Beating up the street. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to brush up on those self-defense skills, don't you think?
Oh, trust me. I never don't go through the battle tutorial, because this game can get complicated. Loader Conrad and Whackmaster Jax to brush up on your fighting skills. Right up here, we get the Heal Grease Plus. Such lucky dogs sometimes with some darkly Heal Grease Plus over there behind me. And then we get, you know the drill, press F5 to get the party status right. I didn't know that. I always go there through Fatima. Click on Heal Grease Plus, find a bunch. It's a little crackly camera work, but you know, it's a work of art. This is a good cutscene. They do a good job of showing off. Well, a lot of it is concrete and thus looks kind of plain. They still found really, really good ways to make the architecture creative despite visual limitations. They were like, look, we have to stretch textures so far because it's an old PC game, but that doesn't mean we can't put those textures in weird-ass configurations and make everything look cool.
I hate this place.
Well, fuck you too, Boots. Creek fell 40 feet to his death. Grab Pap must have malfunctioned. Makes you wonder if you'll be ready when your number is up. Will you have lived the life you wanted to live? How long have you been standing there? Get your kisser out of here before I scutch the teeth from your fat face. You heard me, Frowny. Hit the bricks. Rip. Eventually there's a taxi here. But it is not here until you, like, discover the zones that it can take you to. Master Jax, let's get some boxing training. I don't think it'll actually let me increase. I don't think increasing the gamut does anything. I'm just gonna live with that. It really just. Okay, we come down here explore for pacifism. Not to. You're right, for my violence. You are a saint. That doesn't do anything. But if you say to hit, then he continues beating the dummy, and the dummy is like, "Why would you do this to me? You've damned me." Yeah, see, this is where it would be nice to be able to adjust the gamma. It's just such a confusing little fork in the road. Very difficult to navigate in some of the bag of gloatants. Shield cells and power belts, so they're definitely going to get into any scraps. They also fuel your mana gauge once we create magic. They were originally discovered on Hephaestus, the lava planet where all those wonky monks live. Gloatants are easy to breed, easy to raise from similar non-radiated rodents. They were such a cheap power source, everyone's using them now. Even Corticom finally got into the action and markets them. They smell bad. And we apparently killed them. Use them. Take one. Thanks. Got another one? If I listen to your whole shtick, will you give me another one? Nope. Where are you at? This guy. This is Tutorial Man. Judging by the choice condition of that shiner, I suspect you're here to learn the fine art of the scuffle that beat the whack. No, then, I don't take loafers and I don't take thieves. I take students and I expect respect. Give me any lip and I'll fatten it. Before we begin, however, there's a small matter of my training fee. Knowledge isn't cheap. For a mere 5 loonies, we can begin. Sounds great, here's cash. He talks a lot. I'm not going to read it all. Learn the way of the whack. Okay, so... there we go. Might. Might's good for your beefiness and your beat. That's how much you can beat the shit out of something. Agility makes you fast. Good at dodging. Okay. So yeah, speed, beat, and beat block skills. I only know what some of these are, hence why we're doing the tutorial. Wisdom, which doesn't really do anything yet. We'll do wisdom, I guess, I think that does your social skills and probably shield capacity, but magic. If you want to learn something, take your medicine and bridle your tongue. If you get frazzled this easily, you're going to get sandbagged by the first scrapper you lock horns with. If you want to size up an enemy on the quick and make fast, tactical decisions in the thick of the thick, drop your pride and use your brain squab. Boils down to intelligence, and you can't drug opponent with braids alone. A spoonful of wisdom can make a little knight go a long way. Wisdom is an important tribute for your beat block skill. These 3 main attributes will determine how good you are at all your various skills. Until you really understand these obvious ideas, you're hopeless. The main skills used in battles are beefiness, beat, speed, and beat block. Your damage, your accuracy, your speed, and your dodge? It says avoid getting hit. Block and dodge usually aren't cross for me, but self-improvement's what separates us from the animals. So does a high caliber beat pistol, which is noticeably absent from your person. Say that it happens when your clients are mostly dead beats. I'll let you have this old Viston pistol. Always have your weapon equipped at all times. They can equip it. See if you can shoot straight. Yeah, battle plaque, these are your actions. You can attack, you can move, you can use an item, you can use an action. Like if there's like a lever, like Chrono Trigger and stuff. Okay, yeah, the red bar around here is your action bar. When it fills up, you can do stuff. Attack the robot. Wonk. Oh, he hits a lot harder than I do. Say he was going to take a poke without fighting back. Can't strip a hornet's nest without getting stung. That's why it's important to keep an eye on your health. Your health bar shows how much life you have left. Go and take another shot at him and we'll move on. Bonk. Bonk. Uh-oh. Undefined hot button state. This should not be visible. I'd like to see. That means the game's working. I don't think he's still supposed to be in this battle mode. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I really hope this fixes itself, or I'm gonna be upset. Not bad, kid, but you need to loosen up. You hold the gun like it's a dead rat. You gotta wrist better. I can't move forward. Task manager out of it. It's that locked up. Oh boy. Alright. Much better. So I need to... Looks like the graphical things I downloaded to fix it very well. So it might, and since it didn't fix the gamma thing anyway, it might honestly be better off without those things. So I'm gonna try just stripping them from the game and continuing. Shade. Let's try that again. Restore. Fountain area should be right outside Wagmaster. Good. Got to refix the window for you guys. Because I didn't think about the fact that it was just gonna re-buck itself. No, I didn't want that over there. I wanted it over here. And back at it again. Good. Can't not advocate for pacifism. Gotta be a good person and save this poor robot. Not to hit. When you come back to this planet, that decision doesn't save and you can redo it, so it really does nothing. But it always makes me feel nice. Nice. Talk to this guy for a minute and give me a quote. Come on. Thank you. Sounds great. Here's your cash. We can skip on through this. No, it's not an emulator. It's just this is built to run on like Windows 95, and it was very state-of-the-art in the era, which means a lot of the technology is just so not just dated, but like it's part of the V branch, you know, HD versus Blu-ray. Now imagine like someone made a game that only worked in HD players. Now that we've moved on Blu-ray, it's not just dated, it's also in a splinter that didn't get folded back in to Vulkan and OpenGL graphics that we never really progressed with. We don't use any of that stuff anymore. So it's not just we do it better, it's that we don't even do what this fucking did and used anymore. So it's super fucking broken and really difficult to use. And it also depends just on, I think it also specifically hates Radeon. I don't think it plays well with Radeon because I've played it on laptop before when I first picked up the laptop that I got last year. And it played fine. I didn't have any of the issues. I didn't have the lighting issue. It played just fine on that laptop. So I think it depends on the graphics card. I'm not 100% sure why. The problem is I had it fixed. I fixed this 2 weeks ago, and that's why I was super excited. And I made the stream tonight. I was like, yeah, I got it working. And then the stream ended up being half an hour late because I booted up and it would just freeze and crash. And I played through a bit of it a couple weeks ago so I could make sure everything was working fine. Just fucking broke. So now we've got all that stuff stripped and we're just playing the broken ass game as it broken ass is. But you know what? I've played this game before, just this broken, and I loved it. So I'm sure we will get through it just fine. Punch robot. That is not how you punch people, Boots. You're very bad at this. What I wouldn't give to run this motherfucker in window full screen mode and be run 640, and if I click out of it, it explodes. So bad kid, you got plenty of potential, but don't let it go to your head, especially after seeing what that robot droid did to you with one hit. Yeah. You're gonna need a ton of tutoring if you're gonna shape up into a bastion of unstoppable beat hood. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't normally do this, but you can't learn or pay me if you're dead.